So, yeah, have a good night, son.
Bye, son. Oh, there you are, Odo. What? What kept you, dear fellow?
Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Gina.
You sure? You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, actually died the day before. It's pretty hard to swallow. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you.
It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. But I was more shocked than all of you put together.
Thought it wasn't a competition.
Yeah, it's not, but I'm winning.
This is the autopsy reported question, is it?
Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission.
Oh dear, if it was deliberate. Puts me in the mind of the last case we worked on, with Dr. Slythe.
I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zeeks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by the trick.
No, no, no. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuthhound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income.
And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose.
The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Shum's suite, I mean. That's right, Suze. And it was me who took him in. Thanks to a tip-off of a good law-abiding citizen. Indeed, yours truly.
So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them?
Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuthhound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. Don't tie him with the same brush as you, Sholmes.
I feel like he probably makes more than that. Like, a lot more. Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zeeks for some reason.
Oh. The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zeeks.
And Kazuma.
Donkey!
Kazuma's donkey?
Listen, it's just that trope of just everybody's names being said in a row.
Yeah, but you didn't say it in Eddie Murphy.
I can't do Eddie Murphy impressions.
It feels as though he knew we'd arrived at this point somehow.
This isn't my this is my Shrek impression. That's the closer you're gonna get it. Donkey, it's me, Shrek.
It sounds like Shrek trying to do a Cockney accent.
It's me,
And
Shrek. Donkey.
Morning, I'm making waffles.
Get out of my swamp.
Now you sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to do a Shrek impression.
Get out of my swamp. Gosh, I think you're right.
What's he really trying to achieve here today?
All the answers will be soon revealed. Observe in time, my dear fellow. Observe the time. This recess will be over shortly. Very shortly.
Yes, you're right.
Here, I gotta go grab my glasses.
There.
Keep going.
Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Are you ready then, Mrs. Adder? Well, wait a moment, I'm Mrs. Adder. Yeah, so I hope you guys are having a good week. I'm playing a lot of Kirby and Elden Ring, two things that go together well. Dang it. My water's way over there. Just a second, I need to reach my water. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. The Rise March has flown by. I'm not sure off the top of my head what's coming out in April. I know Original Advance Wars was. That's been delayed. Maybe Chrono Cross was, I think? Not sure, I'll have to check. But I'm pretty knee-deep in Kirby, and I don't even know how deep I am in Elden Ring. It's a very deep pool. So, and that's not even, taking into account, what else have I been playing? I need to go back and finish the decks in Pokemon Legends Arceus. I heard it's taken a while. Might have gotten interrupted, maybe. Here he is.
I couldn't find my regular glasses. I had to go grab my spares. I don't know where they went.
Oh no.
It's just it's a different look for the camera today. Yes. Yeah, I felt the whispers of a migraine forming. I'm like, I can't do this.
I hope you don't get a migraine.
We're good. I also went ahead and grabbed some pain medication.
Yeah.
Kazuma was determined that we should be the one prosecuted, and he was determined that
nothing super important.
I feel that
that's all.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I normally keep all my pain meds with my glasses on the same place because I am an old man, and when you get old, you have your meds.
You're younger than me.
You have your meds and everything in your nightstand. Don't dox me.
I wish I was that organized with mine.
Or you just wherever they are. It's just like, well.
I have a bag with them because I go back and forth between here and every other weekend to see my family, so it's easier just to have them in a perpetual ready to travel state. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Blargg von Zieks, here present, who stands accused of murder.
I got a strange question to ask you.
Now then, Prosecutor Asogi, what?
Why did you choose Blargg as your emo?
I like Blarggs.
Fair. I figured out of like any Mario enemy, you'd probably be more partial to Whoopers. Is that what they're called?
Whoopers?
It's the little squid boys.
Bloopers.
Bloopers.
Bloopers are alright. I mean, I chose Blargg. Like, Blargg's been my profile picture since long before I started streaming. Probably at least like a decade. I've used that just on everything. And Super Mario World just has a special spot in my heart because it was one of my first video games or first console games. I played computer games until I was 5, but when I was 5, I got my Super Nintendo with Super Mario World, Super Mario All-Stars, and Disney Aladdin for Christmas when I was 5. And so Super Mario World has like a super special place in my heart because it's like the beginning of everything for me.
Yeah.
And Blarggs just, they have so much character. Bloopers don't have nearly as much character.
Fair.
Plus, they're not really. Is there bloopers in World?
Yeah, there's an underwater level, right?
There's underwater levels. I can picture fish. I'm trying to picture any bloopers.
Yeah, there's the Cheep Cheeps are definitely there.
Cheep Cheeps are. They wear goggles in that one. And there's Rip Van Winkle's, the sleeping fish. I don't remember bloopers in original Super Mario World. It's gonna bug me now. I'm just gonna check. Super Mario World enemies.
Well, because I keep thinking about it. I was at the store the other day and I saw this dog toy that was just like a big squid, and I was like, oh, I should get that for ShatJV, and that just made me think. I just spiraled, and I was like, wait.
Okay, there absolutely is not bloopers in Super Mario World.
Oh, that's probably why. Like, you don't have the nostalgia for them.
Yeah, bloopers are. I mean, I don't dislike bloopers. They're squid, but as terms of squids go, they're also very generic squid.
Other than the Inklings,
like,
what are your top cephalopods
in games or like actual cephalopods?
Sure, or whatever. Like, I don't know if there's enough cephalopods in games other than bloopers and Inklings.
You don't think there's enough in games? I mean, they've been increasing in popularity, and they're not uncommon as enemies.
Well, we don't have to talk about it.
I mean, in terms of like actual cephalopods, like I had a whole rant to somebody like a week or two ago about how disappointed I was with Malamar in the kinds of ideas that they could have done with squid that could have been way more creative because based on like real types of squid. Like,
yeah, it's weird that they decided to just flip it over.
And they went for Eldritch Horror, and that's not bad. I don't hate Eldritch Horror, but Eldritch Horror is very cliched for squid. And it's disappointing that that's the first thing they went to with squid and Pokemon as a cliche. You could have done Japanese flying squid, but have it literally fly. You could have had
one with a jar, right? Like in one of like an old timey jar, because that's how you catch
those octopus.
Squids. Oh, fair.
Squid don't really climb into stuff like octopus do. They're not.
Oh, like maybe chameleon, right?
Squid can't change colors. That's octopus. There's like you could do a Dumbo squid. If you've ever seen those, are cute little tiny.
Oh, the one with like the tiny little dumb ears.
And they have like very big eyes compared to their body. They're like adorable. That could be a fairy type. Little fairy type squid.
Good.
They could
Water
do
fairy.
Vampire squid, which you can go so many directions with that, because in real life they glow red in the dark because they live in like deep sea, and they have caped tentacles. So you can go like literal vampire and have it be like maybe dark type or something, and it like sucks blood or something, or life energy because it's Pokemon. Or you could go actually what they're more about they're based on, and have the bioluminescence be a big part of it, and be like, I don't know, electric, like. And then there's not to mention like a colossal squid or kraken or something, which would be a great legendary. And it doesn't even have to be water type. My favorite take I've seen was this fan-made Pokemon Krakatoa. It was a kraken volcano that was like a robotic magma kraken.
Oh.
Nuclear type, Shady. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get that in Pokemon. Not even as a reference, I don't think we'll have anything radioactive in Pokemon. Okay, anyways, but yeah. Long story short, Pokemon could have been way more creative with their squids, and I'm disappointed they're not. But I'm still glad we got a squid. It took us 6 generations. Now then, Prosecutor Asogi.
My lord.
Have you summoned the witnesses as requested?
Yes, 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage.
Very good. Bailiff, usher the 2 men into the courtroom. I'm not doing his voice right now. Look at all that spaghetti.
Yum, 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 yum. These 2 men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupation, but state your names now for the court.
I am Fabien de Rousseau, a descendant of the great Rousseau family from Nice in France. Name?
Is it Jacques Cousteau?
Fabien de Rousseau. Oh, the reference?
Yeah.
No. The first name just a generic name. Last name means red.
Oh.
Because he has red hair.
Is this a boy or a girl?
Boy.
Okay. And my name is Peppino de Rossi.
Any guesses there?
Rossi is also red.
Yeah. The last names are just
like
red in
pickle?
French and Italian.
Fair. I am the 3rd son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli.
I don't know if this is a reference, but I love how he does that jump with
Like
his
Mario?
fist up. I'm like, is this a Mario reference?
Oh my gosh, Room Factory 5 does a reference to Howl's Moving Castle of all things. Like,
That
it's
seems
so
direct.
weird. Like, it's very direct. Oh, and they also do a reference to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like,
Shady,
directly.
Shady, you thought it was a Shoryuken? Since it's Capcom? I mean, maybe. That'd be really odd.
The 2 men became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility.
Sorry, I was moving cash in. What was the other one you said?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
That seems a little stranger.
like directly for both of them. Like the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is there's a skill that's like a flurry of blows, and they literally say you're already dead at the bottom of the description of the move. Like so fast, like it's like if time stopped, you're already dead or something like that. And then the other
Nice.
guy, the other reference is the guy wants to build a moving domicile, and then the main character is like, so like a moving castle, and it's like, yeah, doesn't that make you howl with delight? And then there's a pause, and then the character's like, nothing. You're not gonna react, and then the conversation ends.
I don't know. That may or may not have been a reference.
It's all in caps. A moving castle.
I don't know,
and howl
maybe.
is all in caps.
I feel like that could just as easily be a reference to Pokemon Black and White, where N gets a floating castle.
And it makes him howl because he's actually Zoroark. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, Zoroark's in that game, so there's a howl. Things that howl.
Yeah. That's a theory.
Those who graduate from Temsic are the future of leaders of Europe. But do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Alors, I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little grey cells of my brain.
They had to do something about the Eldritch Horror.
That is all I am trying to do. What do
Because
you
we
mean?
had now that Constable
Gregson?
Gregson Now that he's dead, somebody needs to consume all the starch, and instead of fish and chips, they've turned it into like a seafood pasta.
Where
And
are you getting seafood?
this little boy's taking on the mantle.
Oh,
I'm just trying to make a connection.
Oh, you're talking about DeRosie over there on the side.
Yeah, just like infinitely consuming carb.
I thought you were commenting to
Oh, what DeRousseau was saying? No,
reasoning on why he's scamming everybody.
absolutely not.
Where he's just like, we're rich. I don't need the money. It's
mentally stimulating to scam people.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that, and we don't have to get super political, but there are people who beg for money that have like a substantial amount of income. They just do it to just do it, you know. But it's rough because, like, again, you can't. Homelessness is a very endemic problem, but people like that do exist, and
I'm not saying they don't. I just think it's almost like kind of shittier than scamming people because you need the money.
Yeah,
scamming them just for the mental stimulation.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The people who are financially secure that beg for money are like, it's like on par with this dude. It's like,
scamming is just a hobby for him. It's a hobby.
Yeah. It's terrible.
So that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out. Oui, you could say that.
Oh, he's it's little orphan Annie over here. He's so cute. Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideas, but the petty plans. This strange combination is the charm of the hilarious brothers.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. See, capo?
Shady thinks he's the killer.
Probably.
Listen to me, Peppino. I have two things to say to you.
Oh my god. Que? Are you about to tell me one of your grandi anecdotes? Evviva!
Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business.
Isn't capo hat in Italian? Que bello, there it is. The capo's a trump card. The fur at the brow.
It can also mean captain. Captain or leader or head.
Yeah.
Boss.
I love him so much. He's so cute.
Oh no, Shady thinks Peppino is the killer.
Peppino is definitely the killer. Look at that smarm. It is a deep capo, the furrow, and the meaning of your words.
The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Isn't this unrelated? Oui, c'est ça. And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud? Alors, I will explain it. I like that that's all just one endless noodle, too. Or not one, but like...
Yeah, it's just a strand of continuous, everlasting noodle.
Oh man, that both sounds like a blessing and a curse.
Well, it's literally Greg said Peppino took on the curse. It's like, somebody needs to protect the world.
Or that plane of reality has multiple endless food-based horrors.
Oh no, endless food-based horrors, and they're all battling for Earth as its plaything. Very apropos for this case. No, capo, leave it to me. As you can see, we both have a vivid red hair, no? At the school, we were teased for this without a pity. The capo here has many times behind the schoolhouse crying like the Trevi fountain. Where's us the dogs one day the world will respect us redheads?
I like that he's like trying to use the accent too.
Those dogs. Every night he was every night he would bury his head in his pillow and wait for the hinges and justice.
The bien, Peppino. Enough. I will explain the rest. The first step was a newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe. Entitled to the Redhead League. Oui. C'est ça. I'm honored that you have seen it. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair. And that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4.
On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at the park specified in the advertisement. And for each present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. Oh, he finished it! Yum, 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 yum.
And was the money to France? Was the most elegant, none?
No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken by such an obvious trick. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk, like a Costa's orange barrow. And the day in which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered.
Shady says so. Peppino's the gatekeeper to the flying spaghetti monster.
Oh no! Crucially, these two men spoke face to face with every single person present that day. Oh, it was a different time when you could speak face to face with people.
Oh no. Oui, I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see in the rest of my life.
Like, I genuinely got a little uncomfortable when you said that. I'm like, oh no, you can't do that. See, and now, every time I see the cup of air, I feel a cigarette to my stomach.
Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry? The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told.
Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial.
Why did they literally admit to all the crimes they did, though? Like, they were barely even prompted to. In fact, they were told they could keep their occupation a secret because they're going to be tried soon. Like,
Listen. They've only been shown this photograph.
very good. So, Mr. DeRosu and Mr. DeRossi, you will now give your formal testimony for the court. The subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course, we are always ready to help you with the law. Shady says they're wealthy, probably figure they can pay their way out.
Yeah, probably.
We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day.
But I don't recall the man in this photograph. Capo?
None, I don't remember him. Obviously he is dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park.
Allora, this victim has nothing to do with us.
You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place.
I love little Peppino. Peppino bailarín, Peppino bailarín. Do you remember VeggieTales?
Yes.
There's a song about a dancing Peppino.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's, I haven't seen.
All I remember is
Good enough.
Barbara Manatee. So
Barbara Manatee. No, there's I don't know the characters' names. But
Bob and
the
Larry?
pickle, Bob and Larry, uh, Bob the builder and Larry the cable guy. They go on this adventure together. But either way, it's in Spanish and it's about a dancing pickle, and it's the pepino is a name in Spanish for pickle, which is why I keep thinking about it. That's it. That's my diatribe.
You give us your testimony that this man is a photographer is not present. Could you be certain?
Oui. I am quite certain. We did not interview this man.
Nobody looking like these came to the park. Huh? This I can promise.
It must be noted you have been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances.
We're cross-examining potentially the killers of like a friend and confidant. Like, I don't know if this music is appropriate for what's happening. You killed my best friend, my father figure. It's not appropriate. Oofa! With his attitude, we get an over, huh?
He's really a sulky now.
That's insensitive!
He only thought it!
He only thought it. This... I almost did it with Kazuma. Like, this is confidential. I can't even say it right now. Oh no! This confidential. This confidential. This confidential.
This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated to the day before the incident. It reads, Live Street, Red-Headed League, undercover.
Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, huh?
That is ridiculous.
They're boyfriends.
What?
I said that they're boyfriends.
Who?
Pepino and Capo. I forgot
the
his
Reds?
name. Yeah.
There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. Which means it's quite possible that that's when he was killed.
Very well, the defendant may proceed with cross-examination now.
People die when they are killed.
Yes, my lord. People die. What?
People die when they are killed. It's a meme on the internet.
It was 1,000 head red. 1,000 people. That's a very big crowd. It was quite spectacular. Redheads had come from all over the capital.
See, the capo here, he was the magnetismo animale. Nobody else could attract so many people. It could, if I could be corn again.
If I could be corn again.
If I could be corn again. Corn.
Get back!
If I could be born again, I would be the capo.
As those people wanted was the money, Peppino. The £4 per week.
Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants?
Oui, that we did. Because every one of them paid us 5 shillings.
We take out their names and we take out their money and we take out their addresses as well. And then I tell them we take some days to let them know by post finito, maybe 2 minuti a person. We start early in the morning and we stop late in the night.
So, you earned 5,000 shillings in one day. That's a small fortune.
Who'd have thought that there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to stop?
One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair. He doesn't look at all familiar.
No, I don't think so. And this is a wig, eh? He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people.
Says the con artist.
Listen, it's a different what I do it.
If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, it would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face.
No, signore, I may be small. But my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this other man was in the park.
But he's not going to give the court a definite, it seems.
Capo? You didn't see a man like this, huh?
I don't remember, obviously, I'm sure he's not in the park. But
I
according
gotta
to...
say,
Yeah, say what?
I appreciate that they go out of their way to make the interjections also lead into the dialogue. Like, it's like a small little touch that they didn't have to do.
Yeah, though it
But-
still doesn't logically make a lot of sense that they're repeating the same
Yeah,
thing
I
before.
know, but it's just like I'm saying, just from a narrative perspective, you can imply that you did all this pressing as they were saying it, right? But from a gameplay perspective,
Not really, because they don't, after they say it the first time, they don't, like, act like you've already cross-examined. Or respond to
think-
any...
yeah, sure. Like, I always think of it as like an artistic liberty. Like, I generally, as much as we joke, I do think that the game implies, at the very least through like story, that most of us fumbling around is essentially alternate histories, and that like the straight path is the actual timeline that they're following.
I don't know, but everybody does acknowledge that both present and past Naruhodo seem to kind of just like BS their way through stuff. So
We don't have to get into it, but I don't think both of our opinions
matter.
have to exist. Well, matter, but have to exist in opposition of each other. I think there's space for both of them to be happening at the same time.
But according to what you've said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day.
Listen here, Ryunosuke. Trying to defend you.
Oui, that's true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day.
Just close your eyes, my dude.
Surely then you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present?
Normally, the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around. Then it's just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give us, we could recall.
That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, huh? As there was a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache did not match the color. Then I do not think I could have forgotten him. Kazuma said these two had only been shown that photograph and they'd been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just one other detail about the victim? For example...
His fish and chips.
Do you want to feed them his name, his profession, or his fish and chips?
His fish and chips.
His fish and chips?
His fish and chips. I both think it's a funnier and the correct answer.
I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? Do you remember a man that was eating incessantly? You say to the person eating incessantly. Not really. I was looking only at the ads of the applicants. I would have noticed the fish and chips any more than the caviar and smoked salmon.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, the spaghetti. Me. I love the spaghetti.
Really? I had no idea. Tell them again what you said before, Peppino.
See, capo, see. I say it again and again. Allora, the victim is nothing to do with that.
But we only have a word for that.
See, but what else can you do? Huh?
What the heck is this animation?
I love it.
True.
Uffa, we're not having much fun these days. First we are arrested, then we are shown the horrible picture of a dead man. And now you question every single thing I say. We say, we are the victims here. Capo?
No, you were caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people.
Yeah. You had to bring that up, eh? It's not fair. Capo? Did we pick the wrong prompt? Like, was there something that we have to go back and
Possibly, but we
another-
might as well finish pressing.
Okay, I don't remember which point it was. The third one?
It was the third point. Third
Okay.
statement. A lot to answer for, Peppino. What do you mean by that?
Cavolo, you promised not to say. Capo?
After we'd had taken all the money that day, we should have left the country. That was my plan. I left the purchasing of the tickets for the ferry to Dunkirk to my companion here. But he bought them for the wrong day. Oops.
See, but it is an easy mistake to make, huh? The 31st.
Buff, I have no sympathy for you. We were an all day late for the boat because of your stupidity. And it's only because of this that the so-called great red-headed detective caught us.
Capo, you know what I think? This is the work of God. This is a holy punishment, eh?
Peppino, for the last time, this is not only punishment. This is only your fault. Only your fault.
Aha!
Don't blame God for your unholy mistakes. You are making me sick with anger.
Maybe I make a mistake. But when it's time to eat the pasta, no one eats a pasta.
And I've seen the evidence.
I like the rhyming of pasta with faster.
They haven't told us much we didn't already know.
That was a sneaky one, because like you'd have to be reading it in an Italian accent to catch it. What do you think, Mr. Naruto?
Well, if that was in the inspector's diary, it seems likely that he must have gone to Lime Street that day. And yet those two both claim they didn't see him.
I have to say, they do not appear to be telling lies.
They are experts in deception, don't forget. Sounding plausible is their specialty. They may be lying simply to avoid being implicated in this case as well.
Surely, if they were truly experts in deceptions, they wouldn't have been caught.
Well, yes, you do have a point there. Seems to me like we need more information.
Definitely. Oh, let's go. Let's go back.
Back to here. Ah! Here.
Do
Listen.
we gotta point out another contradiction?
Okay. What detail?
His profession, I guess.
I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair would help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you the man in the red hair piece was actually a detective? The man in the photograph, a detective. Yes.
It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito.
Sorry, but this changes nothing.
Oh, it appears to change something.
Something to add, Mr. DeRossi.
Okay. See, I am always adding something Parmesan, olive oil, pepper.
What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance?
What did he just say to me about the detective?
Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You have said enough already.
But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I am an inspector for Scotland Yard.
What?
Oh,
Good lord. Look at the size difference.
he's a little munchkin.
He-
He's like Finnegan the Postman.
I guess. Nobody knows what that means.
I mean, the people who need to know.
The D&D character.
Or to quote a certain somebody who texted me today, the intended recipient knows what it means.
Order! Explain this vault face in your testimony, witness.
It's the same for the man who was at the park. It said something. The man who was at the park said to us that he was an inspector.
There was no such man.
Madai? What are you talking about, Capo? Have you forgotten, I
have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park.
Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me at the many things, but not the two. The memory and the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat at the pasta, no one is at the pasta.
But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up.
Rough.
Ugh. Trap Todd, the damage is done. Indeed it is, sir.
Oui, there was a man who came to the park and said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else.
He was looking like a man.
How can you be so sure? Because, to start with, his face was completely different.
See, is it true? Is it true? A man who came was a younger. His face was cleaner shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner.
No resemblance whatsoever, then.
Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, "If you're really a detective, show us the proof."
See, the capo here, he doesn't take no nonsense, eh?
But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification?
It is most unconvincing.
Sorry, my lord?
Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question.
Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity?
Clearly, the papers were fake.
Certo, capo, you are a genius. As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another eye.
And what happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, "You are under investigation." So I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park.
It was fantastic. Look. Here is the identif- and here is the identification. Yeah, he's I can't even say the word. Identification. There we go. Lord, that was rough. Don't perceive me. I'm embarrassed.
So you stole it from the man.
He had it coming. He made us very scared.
He had it coming.
He had it coming. He had made us very, very scared. But he was not who he said he was.
Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence.
But I like them. But they're my special identification papers.
Now, let us return to the witness's testimony.
Here's the papers.
Can you open them?
Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside.
Bah, 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 bah.
Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it?
Out of interest, what's the name? What name is given?
Probably something plucked out of the air. It's Tobias Gregson. Wait, what?
Probably something plucked out of the air. This Scotland Yard insignia. Looks genuine to me.
But how?
And the department and the identification of those details are all correct as well.
Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say...
I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard.
But that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all.
Now, let us return to the witness's testimony.
Okay.
Allora, this victim has nothing to do with us.
That's not
Okay,
understatement.
so
Have any hunches?
yeah.
Have any hunchbacks?
Of Notre Dame. Yeah, so go back. No, not that far back. Can you present that little booklet there?
Right here?
I guess. I don't know. Did you save?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
It's funny though that we're presenting on the same statement that we got it from.
Right? That is a little bizarre, but like I'm like about it.
I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade?
Why, Miss Lestrade?
What is your intention here, Counsel?
Is this really fake or is it genuine? That's the real question, which we can't answer ourselves.
Objection.
Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen.
You missed a hold it.
Hold it.
Hold it! That is the boss's. No question about it.
It can't be.
As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation.
Is it a lie? Order!
What if the boss had his identification stolen? Does the boss... Well, if the boss has his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. I mean, he was always on with me about it. If this loses somewhat, if you lose somewhat, report it at once, he'd say.
Man, you're really mixing those accents up.
It's just, they're just so close in my mouth, you know?
Could it be then that the inspector was physically unable to report it?
Physically, eh? What are you saying?
Unable to? You're not suggesting.
Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen. You must know.
No!
You're multitasking.
Yeah, don't mind me.
Order! The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that?
I love that he Super Mario bounced, even just away. I know nothing away. I know I've done nothing. Away.
Pull yourself together, Peppino. Mandu, you can behave a little more like a master criminal than that, no?
Away. Now I wish I had returned to Italia. Away.
Stop crying, Peppino, please. Otherwise,
Oh. Loom, stop your whining, start talking.
Well, I'm a little called to hear a story considered with greater detail.
I do nothing. I don't.
You cut out, but I got the feel.
But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome.
Dry your eyes and testify again. About those identification papers and the precise circumstances by which you came by them.
Away.
For crying out loud. Literally. The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night our secret hideout. Even though we didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case.
We took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to ours.
There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm, and the next morning we let him go.
He spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like the prison, really.
This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man.
But no, see, no, it's not like a prison. He was very comfortable and very calm and happy. Capo?
It was never part of my plan. I swear it.
Oof. So you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the date of the ferry wrong, but by one a little a day.
I do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it.
No, per favore, capo. It's not fair.
You shall have plenty of time for squabbling back in the prison, gentlemen. Oof, I don't believe this. How could he have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense, proceed with cross-examination. So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout.